For over 55 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by the Georgia Farm Bureau in association with Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College.
And with that, we say welcome to our home away from home, the Farm Monitor studio in Macon, Georgia. Ray DeLessio, Jennifer Parson at your service.
Yeah, glad to have you with us for the next half hour. A lot of content in a short amount of time. So let's get started, shall we? Coming up, after a tough year for yields, peanut growers are looking for answers. We'll take you to the annual Georgia Peanut Farm Show, where experts share advice on how to bounce back in 2025. Also on the program, bringing leaders together to strengthen the voice of agriculture. Travel with us to Perry, where GFB County presidents gather to share ideas, advocate, and shape the future of farming here in Georgia. And then later, as wildfires rage across California, Georgia Forestry officials weigh in on the stark differences and the potential wildfire risks here in the Peach State. Find out what makes Georgia's approach unique and why preparation is key. These stories and so much more right now on the Farm Monitor.
Fact or fiction? Peanuts are a huge part of Georgia's economy, supporting over 50,000 jobs and producing nearly half of the peanuts grown in the U.S. Yes, that is a fact. Another fact, this report from Damon Jones at the annual Peanut Farm Show on how growers are hoping to recover after a big drop in production last year.
With Georgia growing 6 times more peanuts than any other state in the country, keeping those farmers up to date on the latest research, technology, and equipment is vital for the health of the industry as a whole. Events like the Georgia Peanut Farm Show help accomplish this by gathering all those involved under one roof.
Number one, it's very good information. It's a chance for farmers to get together and rub elbows with their neighbors and friends that they may not have seen from, people coming from all over the state in the Southeast. But you also get to see the latest and greatest in machinery, technology, chemicals, peanut production practices. We've got some, Scott Mumford's going to lead a production session. We've got a seed session, and it helps to just give us an opportunity.
Even though the number of acres dedicated to peanuts in Georgia remain high, yields did take a major hit in 2024, thanks in large part to the unpredictable climate.
Weather for the last 2 years have taken some yield from us. This past year has taken more than it has in a long time. We lost some top-end irrigated yields in 23 of about 1,000 pounds. This year, 1,500 pounds or better. And across the state, when you look at the state average, we didn't move that much in 23. We were at 4,100 and something. This year, we dropped down to 3,850. And that's the lowest we've been in 20 years.
With that in mind, growers must now walk a fine line in 2025 between cutting costs and maximizing production.
We know you need to make change. We know you need to kind of cut back if you can. But the biggest thing is we know you need to make money. And so that's the highest yields possible. And what we're here trying to get them to understand is that it's easy to say, I'm going to cut this out, this out, and this out, and that's going to save me money. But in retrospect, every time you cut something, it's going to affect your yield or potentially affect your control of a pest that affects your yield.
The silver lining created by that drop in numbers is a potential for the prices to remain steady through these uncertain times.
We did get lucky by not producing as much in the state of Georgia, so that kind of helped us potentially. I'm not going to say it is, but it potentially did. If we would have yielded 4,200 pounds, we know where we would be this year. It would be starting way low. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case this year, and we can at least keep that price up to where we can at least pay some returns back on our investment.
As for advice to growers preparing for the new year, Monfort suggests working with your local county extension and sticking with the basics.
The main thing is don't forget your base programs. Make sure fertility, fungicides, pest management, your lime, your calcium, the things you need to do, let's make sure we do them, and we'll be okay.
Reporting from Tifton, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
Before the event, the Georgia Peanut Commission hosted a breakfast to honor the 5 recipients of the 2025 Outstanding Georgia Peanut Farmer Award. Commission Chair Joe Bodiford saying the recognition celebrates decades of hard work and contributions to advancing the industry.
A number of years ago, the commission got to thinking about it might be nice to honor folks who had given a lot of dedication and had been in the peanut business, maybe not all their lives, but they had made significant contributions or unusual contributions. And we just want to continue to honor some of these folks, and we decided to choose one from each district. And there's 5 peanut districts in the state of Georgia, so we have 5 each year that we honor.
With agriculture being the state's #1 industry, having a voice for farmers is essential for the well-being of Georgia. And as the Farm Monitor's John Holcomb explains, that unified and engaged voice is what the GFB President's Conference is all about.
Georgia Farm Bureau recently hosted more than 150 county presidents from all over the state under one roof. An event that's meant to facilitate the chance for county grassroots leaders to fellowship, communicate, and learn more about the organization they're representing on a local level.
Everything we do and everything we advocate for starts at the county level, at the local level. It doesn't come from top down, it comes from the counties up, which is why we say we are the grassroots organization for agriculture in Georgia. So when you get all of the people from all over the state together in one place where they can talk to each other, and they all got similar problems. They all have some of the similar solutions. And when they can talk to each other and maybe sit in some of these breakout sessions that we're doing, it piques some ideas that they can take back home, or they can tell us how they want things to be better done as a state organization.
Of course, being a grassroots organization that is the voice for the state's ag industry comes with an active and engaged membership, which is why during one of the breakout sessions, county presidents were educated on the political landscape and empowered to become advocates and promote advocacy efforts back in their counties.
Legislators, they are very busy people, and it makes the most difference when they can put a face with a name behind an organization. And so when we have this huge member base behind us and more members reaching out, calling, even texting or writing or hosting events and meeting those legislators face to face, then it creates more of a physical community for them to connect with, rather than sending a letter and then maybe just seeing a signature or a bunch of signatures and a bunch of names.
Of course, having engaged members that advocate is vital to the future of the industry and the organization. However, one important part of that is having a unified and consistent message for those outside of the industry and the organization to hear.
We know that consistency builds credibility, and as an organization that's been around for more than 100 years, we've got a lot of credibility already, but there's still so many people that don't know who we are and what we do as an organization, and it's our hope that we can empower these really talented grassroots level leaders to go out and have those conversations with prospective Farm Bureau members, and having consistency in that messaging helps to ensure that whether they're joining in North Georgia or South Georgia or Middle Georgia, that they understand that Farm Bureau is the trusted voice of agriculture, right? That we serve farmers and ranchers in rural communities of all types, that they understand that we support one another, that we speak with a united voice, and that we give back to our communities. And we do that because everyone depends on a successful American agricultural system, and it's our job as Farm Bureau to work alongside farmers and ranchers to make sure that our food, fuel, and fiber supplies are safe, sustainable, and secure.
Reporting in Perry for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
While the devastation in California continues, could Georgia face similar wildfire risks? The Georgia Forestry Commission weighs in on the differences and how prepared we are. That's next on the other side of the break.
We reach out to potential cadets across the country, and an opportunity to come over and join us with an entry-level firefighting camp where we teach the selected cadets basic firefighting, everything from basic line digging to prescribed fire. We teach them about all of the tools and equipment that we have. It's all hands-on once they get here.
In this short amount of time, I've learned so much, and it's so important. I'm a hands-on learner, so it's so important to do this kind of thing. And it just puts everything together
I feel like I came to this camp with this whole idea that I wanted to do fire, not really knowing anything about it. And it's just been so eye-opening to learn what the world is actually like.
It was a really good balance of challenge and being supported at the same time. If you have any interest in it, this is a great space to explore that. And so many resources and people that are cheering you on and like really want you to make it in this field.
There's so many different reasons people come. Do you want a job that will challenge you as a person, will help you grow, provide you with a living? If you want to travel, live a job outside that is adventurous and is a part of a team, come work with us.
The images coming out of California are devastating. Wildfires fueled by powerful winds and dry conditions continue to wreak havoc, putting lives, homes, and landscapes at risk. Chief Thomas Barrett from the Georgia Forestry Commission shares his heartfelt thoughts and draws comparisons between the fire risks in California and here at home.
First and foremost, obviously we're all heartbroken over what we're seeing on the TV right now, and we're heartbroken over what's happening in Southern California and Los Angeles. We're sending our thoughts and our prayers to those victims. We're praying for the safety of the firefighters that are working those fires. The firefighting community is very small across the country. We send firefighters and equipment all over the country. You run into the same people over and over again if you've been around long enough. And so I guarantee you that we know some of those firefighters that are out there right now. We've probably worked with them before on other fires, whether it was in California or even if they happened to come to Georgia in the past. We've worked together before, so we are absolutely just sending our thoughts and our prayers. They haven't had a lot of rest, I'm sure. Even when they go to get rest, they're mostly sleeping in trailers on the side of the road or in sleeping bags, tents, things like that. Just trying to find anywhere that they can to get good rest. So they're working 16, 18, 20 hours a day, and then they're trying to get rest in not very comfortable conditions. So very strenuous, very hot with all that equipment on, for sure, not the ideal conditions. As we've all watched the news and seen what's going on in California, and they've talked about the Santa Ana winds that are causing 80 to 100 mile an hour wind gusts, and it's already dry, and then they have terrain on top of it. There is not a lot that you can do in those situations with a wildfire. To compare maybe between California and Georgia, we would consider it a very, very bad fire danger day if we saw 20 to 30 mile an hour wind gusts potential with relative humidities in the low 20s. And typically that would be in March or April. So if we see those days coming up, we're going to be, on high alert. That goes for pre-positioning resources if needed, but we're going to be ready. And that would be as close to the equivalent as what you're seeing right now in California that we might have here in the state of Georgia. So we have a state, that's really different topography, really different terrain, depending on where you are in the state, and fire acts differently. But our experience in Georgia, when we get into really extreme fire conditions, that is usually in the fall, and that kind of coincides with leaf fall up in the mountains. You have fires and they can behave pretty erratically, and especially where there's steep slope involved. Running up hills, getting down in these gullies and drains and things like that. And you think you've got it controlled, and then 24 hours later, some more leaves fall and it catches back on fire again. And in South Georgia, however, our fire season is typically in the spring. We have really low humidities, we have a lot of fuel, and then typically in those months, February through April, we'll have our heaviest winds. Georgia averages about 2,500 or so wildfires per year. A lot of people think that Georgia doesn't have a lot of fires, and I would say that we have as many wildfires in the state of Georgia as most other states in the country. And on average, they burn around 10 to 13,000 acres per year. Here in Georgia, we do a pretty good job of managing our forest. The entire industry really does a great job of sustainably managing our timberland. It's a very, economically important component of our state. Because of that, it's managed very well. Part of that management, of course, is removing fuels in the understory, and we do that both mechanically, how we do it chemically sometimes. Perhaps the most common and most used tool that we have is prescribed burning. Typically, if you do have a wildfire that happens after a prescribed burn has been done on that same property, then it's not nearly as intense because the fuel load is not there. It's going to be easier to control. It's not going to get up into the tops of the trees, and it's not going to move as fast as it would if it was an area that just had a whole lot of fuel. An area that has been prescribed burn kind of acts like a buffer. Not quite as good as, say, a road or a field, but certainly better than nothing. One of the other big reasons why you don't see a lot of our fires on the news is because we don't have those really catastrophic wildfires like you're seeing right now in California. And I think that is a big testament to the management that we do in the state of Georgia.
Well, still ahead, as this time in the spotlight winds down, we take a closer look at 2024 Georgia Farmer of the Year, Bruce Redmond. His journey isn't just about tilling soil or sowing seeds. It's a story of passion, innovation, and a legacy that will leave a lasting impact on Georgia agriculture.
Ramesh Selvaraj is a professor of poultry science at the UGA College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences. Dr. Selvaraj earned a PhD in immunology from the University of California, Davis. Following 10 years as a faculty member at The Ohio State University, Dr. Selvaraj joined the University of Georgia as an associate professor in 2017. His laboratory is the first to ever identify and characterize chicken T regulatory cells, a subset of T cells specializing in immune suppression and are involved in microbial defense, pathogen persistence, impaired vaccine responses, and compromised anti-tumor responses. Dr. Selvaraj's work is characterized by robust international collaborations that have significantly advanced the field of poultry science and beyond. He recently completed 2 mini sabbaticals at Konkan University in Thailand and Tamil Nadu Veterinary and Animal Sciences University in India, where he collaborated with fellow researchers to develop a combination of probiotic species tailored to individual birds with the hope of impacts in food safety and public health worldwide. Dr. Selvaraj has received the Highline International Research Award for his outstanding work in poultry research and has been invited to deliver seminars and keynote addresses at international and national conferences. Congratulations to Ramesh Selvaraj, winner of the 2024 D.W. Brooks Award for Excellence in International Agriculture and Environmental Sciences.
Finally this week, we here at the show would also like to congratulate Kent Hamilton of Colquitt County, who has been named the 2025 Georgia Farmer of the Year, thus officially marking the end of Bruce Redmond's tenure as the 2024 title holder.
Yeah, no doubt Redmond left a lasting mark during his reign. Central to his journey is Shiloh Farms, a thriving operation built by his late father Larry, which Bruce now runs alongside his family. Here now, a closer look at how Redmond honors his father's legacy while paving his own path for the future.
Bruce Redmond is more than just a farmer. He's the steward of a rich family legacy rooted in Shiloh Farms. Situated in Guyton, Georgia, the 2,800-acre operation produces cotton, peanuts, and the highly sought-after Tifquik Bahia grass seed. But at the heart of Bruce's story is the influence of his late father, Larry Redmond, who started the farm in the 1980s.
6 years ago, you lost your father. You were very close to him. You took over the farm. His legacy was important to you to keep it alive and well. And how much of that is a motivating factor in the way you run Shiloh Farms?
I have, like I said, a factor of motivation that most people don't. I can't get the gratification from my father like another person can. So I have a goal that I'll probably never reach. So it drives me not to impress him, but to not let him down, not let our name down.
Bruce's success is undeniably a family affair. His wife Jillian, a respiratory therapist by trade, now spends as much time on a cotton picker as she does at her day job. Their 4 children are also growing up immersed in farm life. Shiloh Farms is one of the largest producers of certified Bahia grass seed in the Southeast, a venture that began in the late 1990s. Bruce says diversifying into Tifquik Bahia grass has been a key part of the farm's success. His commitment to conservation has also shaped the farm's operations. He was named Conservationist of the Year in 2021 for his efforts in soil and water management, the same award given to his dad in 1993.
What drives that commitment to really be a better steward of the land and conservationist like you are?
Every night when I go home to my 4 girls, knowing there's another generation that I need to be conscious of to set things in motion that they could have a possibility to farm if they wanted to, and to take care of the land. My dad always said, and I took this to heart, you get out of the land what you put into it. So I need to put into it more than I'm going to take from it so they could have a chance to. Yeah. Or maybe the next person, maybe not so much my family, but you know, I'm not going to be the last one here on Earth, hopefully, or my generation. So got to look after the future. And that's what I've always tried to do, and that's why we do a lot of the practices that we do now.
Despite the many challenges of farming and the always concerning urban sprawl, Bruce remains optimistic. With a strong family behind him, a farm built on tradition and innovation, and a deep commitment to the land, he is poised to carry the Redmond legacy forward, one field, one harvest, one generation at a time.
I try to make the best decisions I can. I think I'm a pretty good problem solver, and that's why I'm good at farming, I believe, because it's always like new problems, new headaches. But no, I still don't think I'm very deserving of it. I'm honored to be the Farmer of the Year and represent Georgia and Effingham County. But like I said, we're just your average Joe farmer. We're nothing special or flashy, but no, it is a really honor. I was really shocked.
So humble, and believe me, you, the man, is without question worthy of the award.
Indeed, he is. Unfortunately, our time is up. From all of us here at the show, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Farm Monitor. Have a great week.